Hello, everyone. It's your favorite slut who picks up hobos from the bar, Anna Duke here. Seems that a certain little someone, a Mr. Lord of Patriarchy, or, as I have recently discovered, formerly known as War Corpse 666, that got essentially trolled off the fucking internet, or at least at the very least off of that particular account, by people with way more subs than him and way more sense than him. I have discovered in this that he wrote a book back in 2015. And you know how much I love going through batshit crazy fucking idiots' body of work. So, here we have Get Up Off Your Ass, the shortest and only self-help book you'll ever need by David Nordahl. It is 20 pages long and free on Kindle Unlimited, which I have because I read books. And also, if you want to purchase it for the low price of 99 cents, it is still available on Amazon. And now, a dramatic reading / review of Get Up Off Your Ass, the shortest and only self-help book you'll ever need by David Nordahl, known by his internet moniker, Lord of Patriarchy. Get Up Off Your Ass, the shortest and only self-help book you'll ever need by David Nordahl. To my dad, who taught me to cut out the bullshit. Of course, he mentions his father and not his mother, because he hates women. Preface. This will probably be the shortest book I'll ever write. It will also probably be the shortest self-help book wrote by anyone. It's written. That's not to say that it won't fucking help you, it just doesn't have all the fucking filler. I mean, do you really need fucking 500 plus pages to tell you how to drop 10 pounds or to handle mundane fucking shit? What's worse for people with real problems, these stupid fucking things can delay getting the real help from a real therapist. There are problems that you can't just read a fucking book and make it go away. I'll cover them in this book, but don't worry. Without all the filler, you won't waste more than a few minutes, so it doesn't matter. So let's not waste any more time and get to the fucking book. You can see right off from the rip, he writes much in the same way that he talks, a lot of expletives and sentences that don't make any fucking sense, because the grammar is just, I'd say, on par with an 8th grader who's like about a C student in English. Anyway, Chapter 1. Losing Weight. I shall, at this time, listener, remind you that this was published in 2015. There is record out there in various places of what he looked like prior to becoming Lord of Patriarchy. If you search it yourself, as I am not going to provide any images on screen for this, you will see that he was at least a whole person lighter after this book was written, and has only gotten bigger. There's another point later that I will get to in regards to eating habits, and how his eating habits, based on what we have seen on screen with his food reviews, it's not so great. Anyway, Chapter 1. Losing Weight. Before I get into this, I have a question. Just how many of these fucking books are there? How many fucking ways can a person tell right same fucking thing? Jesus tap, dancing Christ, losing weight isn't that fucking hard. Sure, it's not the easiest thing in the world, but it's still not that hard. Look, I'll break it down for you. Stop eating like a hippo. Cut out all the fatty food while delicious are fucking terrible for you. I think I smelled burnt toast. Then move around a little bit. That's it! Was that so fucking hard? Does anyone really need 400 plus pages to get a plan for something that simple? Fuck no! It boils down to 2 pages of real info. 298 of filler. I put a dramatic pause in there. There is indeed no comma. That's not to say it isn't hard to lose weight. Hell, I should know. It just isn't that fucking hard, where a person needs tens of thousands of 400 plus page tomes telling them how to do something this simple. It's tough, but simple to lose weight. Those are diametrically opposed opinions. Eat less, exercise more, and reward yourself a little bit. This is just a personal bitch from me, but the Oxford comma, please. I mean, I wouldn't expect him to know what the Oxford comma even fucking is, let alone. Whatever. That's really all there is to it. On to the next section. Again, dramatic pause, no comma. See, I told you this would be a short book. Oh, one final thing before I go. Anyone ever wonder why there are so many of these fucking books out there? Well, I'll guess I'll spill the beans on that little secret too, T.O. The sad thing is, for all the little strategies, you can't even put the right two, but you can spell strategies right. And, oh, you know what? Word fucking spelling and grammar check. You see, they teach us in school, not that you were paying attention, because it would, most teachers are women, and you have a hard time, listening to them at all, because you're scared of them. See, the thing is he can spell that because it is in, I'm guessing, like a Word document or Open Office if you can't afford actual, Word. We learned in school that you have to proofread these things, even with the added tool of the spelling and grammar checker, because it doesn't pick up stuff like the singular to being where the TOO, meaning also, is supposed to be. It doesn't pick up that kind of stuff. If a sentence is technically correct, even if it reads like shit, or in deeper grammar sense isn't at all correct, it's not going to pick that up, because it's all very basic spelling and grammar rules. It's just to help you with, this is a first draft. You published a first draft. Anyway, where was I? One final thing before I go. I'll start from the top. Anyone who ever wondered why there are so many of these fucking books out there? Well, I'll guess I'll spill the beans on that little secret too. The sad thing is, for all the little strategies and plans outlined in exhaustive detail, that's a sentence, they're all set up to fail. Separate sentence. Hell, Dr. Phil, comma, period after doctor, needs to sell another goddamn book now, doesn't he? The problem is that weight loss is really simple. It's just that the person has to be ready to commit to the work. Like he does. There is no plan at the moment that will allow you to lose weight and still sit on your ass eating cheese balls. Please tell me there is video out there of him with a giant container of cheese balls sitting at the desk. Please tell me that's a thing. Because holy shit, I feel like in my brain that does exist somewhere. Outside of moving around and eating less, there isn't one other way to do it. No matter what a goddamn book promises, they just can't carry it out if the person reading it isn't ready to do the work. If the person is ready, then anyone's fucking book will work. Doesn't matter if it's wrote by the potato-headed Dr. Phil or me, who is also potato-headed. I added that. It'll work all the same. It's just I won't waste 2 weeks of your time getting through a tome. Mine's about a paragraph, and I won't charge you $29.95. Actually, I should have read that 29.95, because there's no dollar sign. To tell you something this moronically simple. I will charge what the advice is worth. 99 cents, if you please. Again, dramatic pause, no comma. And at least he wrote out 99, the numbers and cents, because that you can get away with. But, putting $29.95 without the dollar sign reads as 29.95. Anyway, on to the next part, which is Chapter 2, Grief. Well, we're already at one that maybe a book won't cure. The sad thing is that neither will the ones written by pretentious jackasses. I'm just not going to delay you getting into therapy by writing 300 pages on the subject. If you can work through your grief by yourself, then this book will help. If you can't, then it won't, and neither will any of the others. This applies to adults and kids alike. If grief over the death of a loved one is really fucking up your day, you need professional help, not a fucking book. No commas, no nothing. This is a run-on sentence. If grief over the death of a loved, I'm gonna read this as is, without fucking dramaticism. If grief over the death of a loved one is really fucking up your day, you need professional help, not a fucking book. It's not necessarily like a run-on sentence, but you need breaks in that, so the brain doesn't read it like a fucking run-on sentence. I'm just, as somebody who used to do other people's fucking essay work for them, even when I got out of high school, like, this is, as somebody who has started and not finished, like, at least 3 books, That being said, if it isn't that bad, it will most likely go away with time, but I can help you speed up the process. Why is this sentence separate from the rest of any other paragraph? First off, the person that you liked or loved a whole lot is dead! And they are not coming back! Sorry, they are not coming back! I have to shout, because they are capitalized for some reason. That's the first truth that you have to accept. They are as dead as the fried chicken in you local grocery store's deli. That's... okay. There's no way to bring them back unless you happen to be a goddamn necromancer. That's the truth that you have to accept. So, first you have to accept, of course, that your loved one that may have died of something horrible that you are deeply grieving over, remember to compare them to fried chicken in a grocery store deli, because that is how dead they are. And also, you can't bring back unless you're a necromancer, which, get on that. Sorry, continuing. Okay, now that you've done that, you can start the process of moving on with your life. If you are of a religious persuasion, then why the fuck are you grieving at all? Don't you people hold true that at the end of it all, you'll be reunited? Is a happy, magical kingdom known as heaven. That's two religions. That's not... You said of a religious persuasion, you're just assuming default Abrahamic religion on that? Like, just Christianity and Judaism, because I'm not going to go ahead and say I know anything about Islam. I'm going to assume they have a heaven, because it is an Abrahamic religion and they all kind of follow the same playbook. But other religions, Buddhism, for example, reincarnation, Hinduism, reincarnation, various pagan persuasions, multiple afterlives, but they're not grieving because, like, they're grieving because it's the loss of the person that you cared about. Is that you're grieving not only the person, but the idea and memory of the person. And that there will be no new memories with that person that you cared about deeply. Much like, if a beloved pet dies, you're going to be upset about it for a while. It's not, oh, well, they're going to a better place, so why are you so fucking upset about it at all? Written by, like, a true nihilist. Like, wow, dude. Like, hey, I remember when I used to be an edgy 14-year-old talking about, like, I got no feelings. Like, what are you talking about? Like, nah, only pussies have feelings. I'm dabbing. You can't see it because I'm not on video. This is insightful into who he is as a person, outside of his dogshit political takes that are just the same regurgitated anti-women, anti-minority, anti-everything that's not the logical white male atheist. Oh, straight. That's straight in there too, because I know he has a problem. Oh, and cis male, because yeah. I'm just, kind of having to tack on all the labels, because he's a very specific parameter on the kind of person that he'll even talk to, and that is only including if your vision of the world is as fucking tainted as his, based on absolutely no real good goddamn explanation. Anyway, moving on. Okay, I'm gonna redo this sentence, and I'm going to say it without all the fucking bells and whistles, okay? Don't you people hold true that at the end of it all you'll be reunited is a happy magical kingdom known as heaven? That reads like that book that I did that short review on that was just fucking word salad. Just stream of consciousness spewing from a clearly deeply troubled individual about God and a body a perfect size. That guy, yes, with the van. But anyway, shouldn't that utterly assured outcome overcome the sense of grief and loss? However, let's say you're not the most holy Moses person on the planet. Then what in the fuck do you do? I know I said that like a question, but there was a period. Well, here's some simple shit to get you the fuck over it. First off, no one is really dead as long as their memory is alive. That's actually like the nicest thing I've ever heard him say. Meaning their friends and family will keep them alive every time they remember some good memories involving said person. Second, just because the person is dead doesn't mean your life comes to an end as well. Life is not going to wait for you. You still have to live your own life, so I'd get back to it as soon as possible. So I make fun of Soul Calibur games by being like the destiny of the sword and the sword of the champion and the champion of the souls and the souls of the sword and the champion and you just keep going like that because all of the in the destiny, like, it's all fucking buzzwords that you hear in like every Soul Calibur game. So this reads a lot like how I make fun of Soul Calibur games because it's like memory, memories, memory, life, live, life, memories, life. Like, guys. This is somebody who, like, picked up the thesaurus in chapter 1, which wasn't a chapter, it was like 5 paragraphs. Maybe more, maybe slightly more. It looks like he picked up a thesaurus for that, but like he got that far in and was like, nah, fuck it. The thesauruses are for women and pussies. I can't. This is a labor of love. And I don't mean that I love this. I love you guys. I read it so you don't have to. There we go. You still have to live your own life. So I'd get back to it as soon as possible. Third would be the dead person. By the way, the listing, there's no commas after first, second, or third. It's just a fucking sentence. Third would be the dead person. Would the dead person really want you to go to pieces and stop living your life just because they happen to be dead? The answer, if the dead person was anywhere near normal, is no. They'd want you to live your life like you did before. So in a way, wallowing in grief for months on end is kind of a disservice to the person's memory. So for them, pick yourself up and live your life for however long you happen to have it. That's about it. If what I said above isn't going to help, see a fucking therapist. Sir. Much like Chapter 1, Chapter 2 is full of things that you should probably also do. I came into this expecting some basic bitch Jordan Peterson-esque type shit, like get up and clean your room, maybe take a shower once in a while, like fucking basic bitch dad advice. But I'm getting so much more for the low price of free. It is great stuff. So many fucks, so many commas that needed to happen. It's just, it's a masterpiece, really. This should go right up there with, like, fucking Hemingway. Anyway, moving on. Chapter 3. Reconnecting with yourself. This has to be one of the stupidest things that has ever been put to paper. I mean the book? Because, or more like the 20-page manuscript that you have here. Let alone somehow becoming a whole fucking book. Then what's worse to have a bunch of dumb motherfuckers buying the fucking book? Then worst of all, having enough sales to justify a whole series based on a problem that doesn't exist. Fuck doesn't exist. Can't exist. Fuck doesn't exist. Can't exist. Fuck doesn't exist. Can't exist. Fuck doesn't exist. Can't. That's what? What? What does that mean? Oh, my heart. The basic premises fucked up. Did you do text to speech to text on this one? It's like he got, first of all, he fucking threw out the thesaurus after the first chapter because it's for women and pussies. In the second one, he just, commas? What's a comma? What's bothering to even make a sentence sound alright? And then now you have this one where you have this gem of a fucking fuck doesn't exist, can't exist. What does that even mean? Fuck doesn't exist, can't exist? It's like your sleep paralysis demon's name is fuck, and you are reassuring yourself. Getting past that fucking stroke. The basic premises fucked up. Again, this is premises. Premises. Yeah, I'm having... Is that blood coming out of my nose? No. Okay, good. Oh, wow. How in the fuck can you be connected to anything but yourself? I wasn't fucking aware that there was a way that you could be disconnected from yourself. Oh wait, the reason that I wasn't aware of this fact is because it's bullshit! He writes so much the same way he talks. So imagine that. It's like, oh wait, the reason I wasn't aware of this fact is because it's bullshit! Yeah, it's a pretty good impression, huh? I'm decent at that. You can be disconnected from yourself. There's mental illnesses that can make that a quite literal thing with dissociation. You can also just have a disconnected idea of self. For instance, the person who wrote this book thinks of themselves as, worthy of attention. And I'm giving it to him. Because somebody finally acknowledged my existence, and I'm going to make them regret it. So, we're gonna move on. We're gonna keep going, because I can talk shit all day. These things, you can have a disconnected sense of self. Like, you can, like this person who wrote this book, for instance, thinks of themselves as having something worthy of fucking saying and publishing in a book, or rather a 20-page manuscript, as I stated before. And in fact, put this out and found this to be alright. Let's continue. The thing is, the morons that buy these books are the now middle-aged, usually females of the 60s that somehow can't just be happy with the life they have. There's also the people that said they'd never become sellouts, and the chance they got, that's exactly what they did. Then there's the jackasses that just feel guilty that they're successful and have their life together and other people don't. They, for whatever reason, can't get over the fact that a meth addict has to sleep on a park bench. Meth addicts don't usually sleep on park benches. Meth addicts don't usually, sleep. He just hates everybody. That's just not him, huh? I mean, what's it like to be a fucking talking blobfish? It must be rough. So they run in search of help to alleviate this. Do they go to a therapist or maybe volunteer at a charity? No. They run to the bookshop and find all the help for their placebo problem their credit cards can handle. That's because reconnecting with yourself is not possible. You were never disconnected in the first place. Tell you what, even though this is a placebo problem, I'll try to help. First, stop feeling guilty because you have it better than most. Than most. There are a ton of people in the world that have it a lot better than you. So fucking what? Hold on. So here we are, invalidating people's struggles, because there are people out there who have it worse or better than you. One of my favorite arguments of buck up and pull yourself by your bootstraps. Man, you suck. First, stop feeling guilty because you have it better than most. There are a ton of people in the world that have it a lot better than you. If you feel that you've become a sellout shadow of the person you were in college, sentence. Collage, sorry, in collage, sentence. Pat yourself on the back, sentence. When you put it like that, like that's, I mean, pat yourself on the back. It might technically be a complete sentence, but you meant for that to be part of the previous sentence, so whatever. Selling out is sweet because money makes life a hell of a lot easier. Finally, if you're still crying about the suffering of others instead of reading pointless books, why in the foot? What? Oh! Let me read it how it should. Okay. Finally, if you're still crying about the suffering of others, instead of reading pointless books, why in the fuck don't you volunteer and help out? Like I'm sure you do all the time, right? Soup kitchens. I can see this guy behind the line of a soup kitchen just fucking eating ladles of soup while the homeless guy is standing in front of him like, please, can I have some? Here we are. That will go a hell of a lot farther. You want further for this one. It reads better. Technically correct, but it reads better. Than reading a fucking book. Not then. So that wraps this up. I told you this was the shortest and only self-help book that you'll ever need. Here's chapter 4, which is 1 paragraph and 3 lines. After that, outstanding. Again, this is total bullshit. Oh, sorry, chapter 4, inner child. Again, this is total bullshit. Once you grow up, you can't go back. There is not little person inside of you wanting to get out. It's just a metaphor for doing something and taking a chance. So if you want to do something, do it. Just make sure that it's legal. Nothing's stopping you. Nothing's stopping you is a complete sentence here. When in reality, that's actually not a complete fucking sentence. You're an adult. You can do it. If it's something that you want to try or learn, then try and learn. You'll probably suck at first, but you'll get better. Then one day you'll be decent at it. That's about all for this section. Sorry it's short, but I can't really stretch out bullshit. Shit, it just doesn't stretch. At least in my world. We're gonna do one more. We're going to skip ahead to chapter 17, Relationships and Sex. Chapter 17, Relationships and Sex. Here's the other big behemoth from the world of self-help books. Relationship and sex. That's all one word, there's no commas. All one sentence, rather. The sex one is a little stupid. The ones on relationships, $20 says they've destroyed more relationships than they've saved. Most of these books create problems where none existed. You and yours don't communicate well, so what? Who the hell said you need to have a 20-minute discussion about the merits of white or wheat bread? The cause people to overanalyze the mundane shit. Rereading that again for clarity. The cause people to overanalyze the mundane shit. Your husband sent you flowers. No, I don't think this is to make up for something. Maybe he just wanted to be nice. Your wife fixed the leaky faucet. It's not an assault on your manhood. Wow, that is like the most emotionally intelligent thing I've ever heard him fucking say. I mean, it's the wrong "your," but like if your wife fixes a leaky faucet, it's not an assault on your manhood? Like, holy shit, that's something you believe? I didn't think you had any depth to you whatsoever, Mr. Nordahl. Not everything deserves to be scrutinized like what most of these books say. The other thing is the stupid fucking exercises in there that are just that stupid. How the fuck is it supposed to help anything when you have to catch you blindfolded lover? Again, how the fuck is it supposed to help anything when you have to catch you blindfolded lover? Have you ever wanted to do so much? You want to look more like... Oh, it hurts. That's not an exercise to help your relationship. That's the start to a fun, kinky night. The fact is that relationships are not that fucking hard. Wow, blindfolds. Fun, kinky night for you, huh? You're that vanilla, huh? I mean, when the closest thing to a pussy you've had is a tanga, then I suppose that could be kinky. Mild sensory deprivation. Be honest with each other. Don't get offended by every little thing that comes out of your partner's mouth. Assume that this person is faithful to you. Those are all separate sentences, but, dramaticism. A hug does not equal cheating. Get rid of the fucking jealousy. This is directed at women more than men. Ah, there it is. There's the emotional intelligence of a fucking child. Yeah, because all women are they're all jealous. They're all nasty, jealous people who will go through your phone and your contact list and make sure that you have a joint Facebook account. And like all women, every last one of them, they're the ones that are these crazy emotional fucks who are just always jealous, always. As somebody who was raised and socialized as a woman, sure. At this point, I don't even want to argue anymore. It's just not worth my fucking time. Realize that while you might love each other, you're not going to like each other all the damn time. Because, see, the thing is, if you start, a lot of people think you can't start a sentence with because or and. You can, you just need a comma. This does not have it, so it is, again, wrong. Because you have one fight doesn't mean the whole fucking thing is over. You're going to fight that is the right what? Going to be pissed with each other. How do you fuck that up and then do it right there are 3 words in between those yours. If you're again, what? Not then you're not in it, right? You're again. There's two words between those. Not in a normal relationship. Plus, the best part of a fight is the makeup sex afterward. No. Not everybody makes up after an argument or a fight by fucking in a relationship. Like, sometimes it's just leaving each other the fuck alone for a while because emotions are still raw. Has he had like one relationship or just watched them on television and this is his whole entire idea of how relationships work? Like, dumb husband comes in, like some Al Bundy shit. Dumb husband comes in, woman fix faucet, me less of man now. Oh, I fight about it. Woman, you jealous, you look at my Facebook. You look at it, you be mad about women on Facebook. Now you jealous, you mad, you yell at me. Oh, now we fight. Oh, now we fight, now we do the boom boom. Now we do the boom boom to get over fight. Now we go back to regular life as man and woman. Like, this is what this feels like to me, is that is his idea of a relationship and that they're all just this. The reason why there are so many books on relationships and sex in particular, and how those two coincide and why they are so lengthy, is because these are all very complicated concepts that you can't get out in 4 paragraphs and 2 sentences. 4 paragraphs and 2 sentences is this quote-unquote chapter. Let me finish it before I fucking lose my mind. Oh yeah, okay. Now, as for sex itself, I think everyone would be better off watching porn than reading a fucking book. You know what? I too believe that one should watch porn and then read a book. That sounds like a great time. Watch some porn and then read a book. That was just a little bit. I didn't want to go. Oh no, he's got a whole thing about anorexia and bulimia and eating disorders. Go into a treatment facility. Okay, good, okay. At least it's not some stupid hot fucking take. I urge you, if you are, a masochist, and you feel like dealing with this 20-page nightmare, it is on the internet. It's called, you go onto Amazon, Get Up Off Your Ass, the shortest and only self-help book you'll ever need, by Dave Nordahl. It's David, as you would expect that to be spelled, and N as in Nancy, O-R-D as in dog, A-H-L, Nordahl. And this was a book written in or at least published in 2015. It's rated 3 out of 5 stars. Let's see the ratings. 2 stars. I got so bored of reading the word fuck and fucking and your instead of your that really and honestly, even if the book had something to say, I'd still be extremely disappointed. Don't waste your money on it. Nothing new or special here except an author who probably thinks he's just so smart and all the others stupid and useless crying babies. The funny thing is he accused self-help books when at the same time he's very conveniently forgetting he's trying to sell one of those too. The next one is a 1-star review. This guy needs to take a composition class, correct? I'm going to skip the next one because it's a 5-star. I'm going to read that last. I'm going to read the 5 stars last because there's only 2 of them. One is just awful. A guy obviously doesn't know how to write. It read more like an angsty teen's diary entry than a self-help book. Well, Everest of Amazon review fame, I assure you, in 2022, years later, after you have written this in 2019, that he still sounds like the angsty teen diary entry of a young, frustrated, full of jizz, fucking teenager who decided that women and minorities are the problem, not him. Oh shit. Yo! Alright, so the next one is, I haven't felt this badly for someone's writing since the fanfiction My Immortal. If anybody remembers the fanfiction My Immortal, that there was one particularly very famous dramatic reading of, and it was entirely about Harry Potter, and it had a lot of strange references to Gerard Way from My Chemical Romance, and it was a fucking nightmare of a fanfiction, but great for just dramatic readings of bad fanfiction. This was like, I think the first time I heard the dramatic reading of My Immortal, I was still in high school, and I'm 34 now, so that goes to show you how old that reference is. This was from 2017. This book is laughably awful. I could take it more seriously if A, there wasn't an F-bomb in every single sentence. Really, it's like some 10-year-old who just discovered profanity decided to try writing a book for adults wrote this. B, the punctuation and grammatical errors weren't so abundant. Seriously, when you're publishing a book, it's generally a rule of thumb to not turn in your first draft expecting a passing grade. And C, the author had any concept of reality. I've read fanfiction written by teenagers on the internet that had more depth than this drivel. It must be the self-esteem generation. Apparently, anyone can get published. This is somebody who probably agrees with him more than they realize, looking at this book without knowing their body of work outside of this book, and saying that it's the self-esteem generation, it's the fucking participation trophy generation, when I know for a fact that that would chap Lord of Patriarchy's fucking hide. If anybody else was in this position and being told that, like, you'd be like, yeah, no, this is a fucking self-esteem generation, definitely. But meanwhile, he's the one being called. That's why it's funny. I love explaining the joke. Anyway, this one is, I only read a few pages because the language, this is from other country, Australia, 2016. I only read a few pages because the language the author uses in the book turned me off from reading it. Okay, so there's only 2 5-star reviews. Retro Atheist says back in 2016, okay, this was a funny, quick read that got me excited to read. To be honest, TBH, this to me has more advice than a PhD author writing you something. No, it does not. It's probably somebody who just is a simp for War Corpse at the time. Next, Get Up Off Your Ass, the best book ever. This is the only other 5-star review. The best book I have read in years. David Nordahl knows how to write a damn good book. If you have one book you want to read this summer, it better be this one. Does Dave tell you to get up off your ass? Find out on this awesome book. David Nordahl has got to be, in my opinion, the best author in years. No other author in recent memory has put up such a good book. This is the book young readers need to get into. So either this was a troll post, or somebody just saying, like, yo, like, 5-star this, you gotta read it. It's terrible. Because that reads like somebody who doesn't actually believe what they're saying. Much in the same way as a good friend of mine used to do bullshit reviews. Anyway, yeah, free on Kindle Unlimited or 99 cents if you want to buy it. I have Kindle Unlimited because I read books. Yeah, it's only 2.5 stars because of those two 5-star reviews. Otherwise, there's one 2-star review and all the other are one. So it'd be closer to 1.5 without those. It's skewing. Um, yeah, enjoy. I'm glad you joined me here today. Again, this is your favorite slut that picks up hobos from the bar, Anna Duke, signing out. And if you're gonna write a fucking book, learn how to write. Bye.